People always say elderly wisdom makes you calmer. But at 62, I learned something far more important. Wisdom doesn't protect you from the people living under your own roof. And this is my revenge story. My name is Malik Turner. I'm 62, living in a quiet corner of Jacksonville, Florida. The morning everything changed began with something so small it shouldn't have mattered. My glucose monitor flashing a number that simply could not be real. I blinked. I checked again. My stomach dropped. Impossible. And then a cold, creeping thought slid into my mind. Someone had to make that happen. Before everything twisted into betrayal, my life was simple, predictable in the way a man my age finds comforting. Most mornings, I'd sit on my wooden porch, listening to the soft rustle of the pines while the kettle whistled inside. My daughter, Aisha, lived in the small guest house out back with her husband, Darren. She'd wave on her way to work, coffee in hand, her voice always gentle. "Morning, Daddy. You good?" I'd nod, tapping the railing the way I always did, a little ritual that meant I'm all right. I'm still here. Darren was different. Always rushing. Always checking over his shoulder. When he did talk to me, it was with this clipped, tight tone like he was hiding something or thinking 3 steps ahead. Inside my farmhouse, everything had a story. My late wife's ceramic bowls, the old radio that crackled during thunderstorms, the slow scent of stew simmering on Sundays. Life wasn't perfect, but it was steady. A life built on trust, routine, and land that had been in my family for generations. Back then, I never imagined anyone, especially family, would try to take it from me. The first sign was small. So small I almost blamed my age for noticing it wrong. One evening, after dinner, I watched my daughter-in-law, Maya, preparing my insulin in the kitchen. She'd been my caregiver for months, always calm, always careful. But that night, her hands shook. Not from fear, but from something colder. Impatience, maybe. Or nerves. She kept glancing at her phone, screen lighting up every few seconds. When I walked closer, she angled it away, pretending to wipe the counter. "Maya," I said lightly, "no need to rush. We've got time." She forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Later, when she injected me, I felt a strange heaviness, stronger than usual, like my body was sinking inside itself. I brushed it off as a bad day. A skipped meal. Old bones. But something in her voice, the way she whispered, "You'll feel better soon." It echoed longer than it should have. The truth didn't come to me in a dramatic explosion. It arrived quietly, like a chill that crawls up your spine long before you feel the cold. 3 days after that heavy-dose evening, I woke up dizzy, but with my mind clearer than it had been in months. Something in my gut tugged at me, insisting I pay attention. So I did. I counted units. I watched the way her hands hesitated, the way her smile never reached her eyes anymore. Then, one afternoon, as I headed toward the living room, I heard Maya's voice. Soft. Whispery. Too intimate. "No, baby, he won't last long. I'm telling you, a few more weeks at most. As soon as I get the money, we're gone. I promise. Yes, I'll divorce him. I want you." My heart didn't break. It hardened. I stood just outside the doorway, hidden, breathing quietly through my nose while my chest tightened like a fist. Then came the words that carved themselves into my ribs. "I gave him double last night. He looked weak this morning. It's working." My cane trembled in my hand, but I held onto it, forcing stillness, forcing silence. She couldn't know. Not yet. She kept talking, laughing softly, planning my death like a chore she was nearly finished with. I stepped back, quietly, letting her finish her call. No sound. No confrontation. My face empty, my heart burning. In that moment, I understood something sharp and painful. She wasn't careless. She wasn't overwhelmed. She was deliberate. And for the first time in my life, I felt the kind of betrayal that doesn't make you scream. It makes you plan. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I didn't let her see the fire in my eyes. I went upstairs, closed the door, and sat at my desk. The documents, the receipts, the medical logs. I started writing everything down, every dose, every suspicious action, every phone call she had made while pretending to help me. I planned quietly. Patience would be my weapon. She thought I was weak, that I wouldn't notice, that I was just an elderly man, too frail to fight back. Over the next week, I set little traps of observation. I recorded calls discreetly. I took pictures of notes she left lying around. I documented the medicine. And then I tested her without her knowing. Small doses, careful timing, no danger to myself, just enough to confirm my suspicions. Each confirmation hardened my resolve. Finally, I called my son, Michael, to the study. Calmly, almost conversationally, I began. "Son, we need to talk about your wife." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The evidence would speak, but it would speak when I wanted it to. I smiled faintly, feeling a strange, cold satisfaction. Justice doesn't need fury. Sometimes it's quiet. And mine was going to be perfect. Maya thought she had me fooled. That I was weak, frail, a man she could manipulate. But the trap was set. That afternoon, she went shopping, her mind on her secret plan. Her phone rang, Michael on the line. "Babe, Dad's not well. We're at the hospital. He's unstable." Panic flashed across her face, but instead of caring, she called her secret lover, whispering about seizing the money while we were distracted. When Maya and her secret lover arrived at my house, the door was slightly ajar, an invitation she thought she had orchestrated herself. The living room was dark, the curtains drawn, but every surface looked ordinary. She whispered to him, "Quick, grab the safe key, the papers, the cash." As they moved deeper inside, the floorboards creaked in a familiar rhythm. Every step triggered tiny cameras and motion sensors I had set up, innocuous to the eye, but recording every action. They approached the safe, a small cabinet I had shown her years ago. She tugged at the handle, and it wouldn't budge. Confused, she fumbled, trying to force it open. Then the screen on my tablet lit up in the corner of the room, live feed from the hidden cameras. Michael's voice came over the intercom, calm but firm. "Going somewhere with this, Maya?" Panic hit. They realized the moment they had planned for themselves had become a trap. The safe contained only decoy items, fake documents, blank checks, and a note in my handwriting. "Greed has a price. You chose the wrong day." Her secret lover froze, realizing they had been caught in every deceitful move. Maya's eyes widened. No lies, no denials could undo what they had stepped into. Every neighbor, every household help I had secretly briefed, knew the story now. Justice didn't roar. It whispered, smart, precise, and utterly undeniable. Weeks passed, and the air in my home felt lighter, as if the walls themselves were breathing again. Michael and I rebuilt the trust that greed had tried to shatter, quietly, patiently, sharing meals, small jokes, and afternoons on the porch. Maya and her lover vanished from our lives, leaving only echoes of the lesson they had earned. I returned to my routines, tending the garden, listening to the wind through the pines, savoring the ordinary moments I had almost taken for granted. True strength, I realized, isn't about punishing. It's standing tall, letting integrity guide every choice, and protecting those you love while finding peace within yourself. Would you have seen the betrayal and waited patiently, letting wisdom guide your revenge? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real-life stories of resilience, family, and courage.